Hello everybody, AJ Ryzik here, and today we are going to take a walkthrough of my Linux photography workflow. Uh, a few days ago I received a question in response to one of my Linux OS videos. In that video I had talked about, various different uh, photo management applications, and the question that was asked to me was, what do I use? So I figured good subject for a video. I'll kind of do a walkthrough of the various applications that I use, and I'll talk a little bit about some others. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of, if you need to adjust your contrast on a photo or adjust your white balance, adjust your color, that kind of stuff. Really, this is just an overview of what I use, the applications, that sort of thing. Um, Having said that, if you are interested in some tutorials on how to do a variety of different things on, whether it's Shotwell, Darktable, whatever, uh, leave it down in the comments below, and I'll work on some videos like that. So, having said that, let's get started. First thing we're going to talk a little bit about is calibrating your monitor. Um, Obviously, if your monitor is not reproducing colors accurately, it's not going to do you any good to go and make edits and modifications to your photos, because they're not going to look, when you go and post them on the web or print out pictures, whatever it is. It's not going to look correct, look the same, however you want to say it. Now, the application that I use for calibrating my display is called Display Cal, and there, pull it up. And we'll just cancel out of this, not now. Okay, and basically you just need to follow the instructions here. Now, to use this, you do need a calibration tool. Now, I have, you see it's listed right here under instrument, a Spider 3. It's made by a company called Datacolor. Spider 3, and it's actually Spider 3 Pro. It's an older model. I've had it for 10, 15 years. I'm not exactly sure how long, but had a long time. There's a lot newer models, but older models like these, you can pick them up on eBay, 30, 40 bucks, something like that. And yeah, you do have to spend the money on that, but you buy it once, you maybe use it every 6 months to a year or so, because you want to, as time goes on, the colors on a monitor, they drift, so you need to recalibrate. Like I said, maybe every 6 months to a year, or somewhere in there. Don't need to do it every time you're going to work with photos, but you know, every so often you need to recalibrate. Anyway, as far as doing the actual calibration, it's really easy to do. It is somewhat time consuming, but you initially set this thing up, and if you look at the little picture there where you got, see this little dot in front of the display, basically that's what you're going to do. You're going to position the calibration tool on the front of the monitor, and click calibrate and profile, and it'll kind of walk you through all the steps. It's real easy to do. Like I said, it's just kind of time consuming. Once you get past the first few initial steps, and basically you can walk away, and it'll do its thing, and get your monitor calibrated. So every 6 months to a year, you want to do that. And then from that point, obviously you're going to need to download your photos. Couple of different programs. Actually, there's a lot of different programs out there that you can download with, and actually you don't even need a specific program. You could just stick your memory card into the slot on your computer, or if you got one of the little adapters for your memory card, or you can even go and with a data cord connect your digital camera to the computer itself. But anyway, you could just go and download using the file manager. But a lot of the applications out there, a lot of the photo management applications have an option for downloading photos. Now, I personally use Shotwell. not on and not only use it for the downloading, but also for photo management. However, there is a standalone downloader. Um, I think I've got it installed. I don't use it myself, but there I could see the case for using it, and it is called Rapid Photo Downloader. If I can spell today, yeah, there it is. And it may take a little while because, like I said, I normally do not use this. I normally don't use this program, but anyway, you can go and use this. It'll find everything that is on your memory card that you have inserted, and you can pick where it's going to go. You can also rename photos, which um, to me that is kind of the one advantage of using this piece of software, is that if you want to give your photos a specific naming convention, as they're downloaded, their current names will be changed to however you want it set up. So it's a nice program from that standpoint. Um, like I said though, I generally use the built-in one on Shotwell. Let me open up Shotwell. So Shotwell, it is going to, as far as looking at photos, it's going to show when you've got this. If you look up here where it says library and then photos, it's going to show you chronological order. So the most recent things that you've uploaded will show up first, and then as you scroll down, it goes backwards in time. And you can adjust your view depending on how large of photos you want to look at, how many you want to look at a time. And then if you go and double click on a picture, it opens that picture up, and then from here you can do your editing, or you can open it up in another editor. And I'll talk a little bit about that later, but just kind of the basics of how it works. And then you can also, you can sort by events, which you can see. I can look at 2018, 2017, go back through time. I can look at a specific folder. I can look at tags. Shotwell is great for tagging. You can see all of these pictures here where I've got tagged as Union Terminal. Me and the family, we recently went to Cincinnati Union Terminal. Used to be, let me scroll down so you can see a picture of it from the outside. Cincinnati Union Terminal was built in the 1930s as a terminal where all of the train companies, rail services, whatever you want to call it, all of them could operate out of the same terminal within Cincinnati. Of course, rail travel being what it is in the U.S. today, it is no longer used for that. It houses a bunch of different museums. And we had taken the kids to go see the train display there. We looked at some of the other stuff, but like here, these are some of the wall murals that are inside the rotunda. Really neat place to check out. But anyway, you see all these that are tagged Union Terminal, and you got a lot of if you got a lot of pictures that need to be tagged the same, I can simply click on one, scroll to the other end of those pictures, do a shift and click, right click, and add tags, put in a tag, and boom, it has tagged them all the same way. Or you can do, tag them singly. You can also do that for giving your photos ratings. See where it says set rating, you can go and give it a 1 through 5 star, and then you can sort by number of stars. But anyway, like I said, I also use Shotwell for doing my photo downloading. You just come to File, Import from Folder, choose whatever, like here, this EOS_digital, that is my camera's memory card. Go and click on that, click OK, and it'll tell you can either copy the photos or import them in place. You want to copy the photos, click that, and boom, it copies them all. Takes a little bit of time to do it, so let me exit out of this. But that's essentially all that you need to do to download photos. And then the cool thing here is that after you've downloaded those photos, You can come here to where it says last import, and the things that you have most recently imported are going to show up here. So pretty cool setup for that. Now, like I said earlier, Shotwell does not have a lot of options as far as photo editing. Let's open up this one again. So you can see at the bottom, you can rotate, you can crop, straighten, got red eye reduction. You can do a few, exposure, contrast, saturation. There's some options here for tweaking a little bit, but not a whole lot. This enhance, I've never liked it. It's supposed to automatically improve the photo's appearance. To me, most of the time I do not like what it does. The supposed improvements it makes. I would rather go and pick myself. So what you can do if you don't like the editing that's going on in Shotwell, actually you got two options. One is you can just pick a different application, or you can set Shotwell up so that you can use a different editor, which is what I've done. If you come up to edit, go down to preferences, go to external editors, you can see I've set Darktable as my external photo and raw editor. By the way, for those that don't know, RAW, it is a camera format. Basically, you've got JPEGs, you've got TIFFs, you've got PNGs. RAW is essentially the raw data. It has not been processed in any way. So, I would say professional photographers, most of your advanced amateur photographers are going to prefer to work in RAW just because it gives you more latitude when it comes to sitting down in front of the computer and editing the photo. Except for rare instances, I almost always shoot in RAW mode. Anyway, so I can, if I wanted to go and edit this photo, I can right click it, go down to open with raw editor, and generally it does take us a few seconds the first time that you've opened up Darktable in a while. So it then opens the photo in Darktable. Now, Darktable, I guess you can consider it to be the open source equivalent to Adobe's Lightroom. Very powerful application. Lots of options for editing and modifying your photos. Somewhat of a learning curve, but a lot of options here. Just kind of scrolling through the options you've got here. Adjustments for contrast and brightness, shadows and highlights, crop and rotate, your base color curve, orientation. Cool thing in orientation, or no, that's not the one I'm thinking of. Is it crop and rotate? Yeah, crop and rotate. So if your picture is slightly tilted, you can basically draw a straight line across here of what should be a straight line, and it'll adjust it based on that. This keystoning, you can basically compensate for parallax error, which the angle of your camera, it'll correct for that. What else we got? Highlight reconstructions, changing the white balance, tone level curves, color correction, color saturation, going to monochrome. Here on this last area, the correction group, they got some really good stuff here. You got sharpening, defringing, denoising, lens correction. Now, the particular camera lens combination that I was using when I took this photo, it is not in the database, but there are tons of lenses and cameras found that are in this database and will allow you to correct for the imperfections in that particular lens. No lens is perfect. This will correct for, obviously you can't correct for sharpness, but it'll correct for what is referred to as barrel distortion, pin cushioning, all those kinds of things. If you get darkened corners, which is more common on older lenses, but it'll correct for that. Now you can go through here. If it doesn't find what you're looking for, you can actually go through this database manually, try to find them. But I know for a fact that the particular lens that I was using was not in the database. When I get to the end of the video, I will show you how to you can actually help the project that provides the lens correction database. You can actually help that project out. But anyway, so like I said, tons and tons of options here for making edits to your photo. And you can see what I've got up in here. There's still more options that are listed down here that I do not have in these categories up here. So anyway, Darktable, it is where I do majority of my editing. And then once you're in Darktable, you've got what they call the darkroom, which is where you do your editing. And then the light table, if you go to the light table, from here you could go and you could do tagging like I was showing you on Shotwell. You can also do ratings and number of stars. And then this is also where you are going to export your image in whatever format you want. Come over here to where it says format options. Here's this file format. I exported some recently as JPEGs, 100% quality. But you could go PDF, PNG, TIFF, web. I mean, just lots of options there. On the JPEG, let's say you're going to upload it to Facebook, you could go and drop down the quality, maybe 50% or so that you've got a smaller, image, easier uploading. Especially, if you're shooting with, say, a full frame DSLR that's 24, 30, or even more megapixels, you don't need that kind of image quality to get uploaded to the web. It's just people are not going to see that kind of quality online. So you can do much smaller images that you upload. And you can also go and specify that you want, when you go and export a photo, you want it to be so many pixels wide or so many pixels tall, that sort of thing. So, like I said, Darktable, that is where I do my editing. And then, of course, the exporting. So let me go and close this up. And pull up Lensfun. Which Lensfun is the database that I was talking about of all of the camera profiles, the lens profiles. And if you come here to where it says supported lenses, you can see it is a pretty big database of lens correction. Those are all lenses. And then you get down here to the bottom, and these are all cameras that that correction is provided for. So lots and lots of options here, or lots of models within the database. And Lensfun is not just used on Darktable. If you come here to where it's used, you can see Darktable, Affinity Photo, Digicam. There's a Lensfun plugin for GIMP, Huggin, Raw Therapy, Raw Studio. I mean, just there's lots of programs that use Lensfun. Now, like I said, you may have a new lens, new to the market, or one that's not commonly used and it's not in the database. In that case, come here to lens calibration. They've got a link here for the cameras and lenses that are in the process of being corrected for, and will soon move from the development version to the current database. If it's not there, you can actually help with adding your camera/lens to the calibration database. If you go to their calibration service page, it walks you through all the steps that you need to do. Basically, you're just going to take some photos. They give you the specifics on how they want you to do it. and then send them the photos. They're going to have to be raw in the raw mode, but you send them the photos, and they will use those for creating calibration profiles for that particular lens. So, not only do you help yourself out, because once you get that stuff uploaded and they do the they do the calibration and create the profile, now you can use that. But other people that may have that camera lens combination, they're going to be able to use that as well. So definitely if you got a piece of hardware that's not in the database, definitely this is something to check out. So that pretty much covers everything I wanted to go over. Using Darktable, it's probably, well, I would say for some people it's going to be definitely more work than they want to do. For a lot of people, hey, you want to take your iPhone or Android phone, snap a few photos, and upload it right to right to Facebook or Google Plus or Flickr or whatever service. In that case, you really don't need a photo manager. Maybe other than if you want to have a place to store the photos on your on your computer's hard drive. It's a backup, or hey, you only got so much drive space on your phone. For myself, I probably fall into the category of advanced amateur / very low level professional. The photo that you're looking at in the background, that's a shot that I took down at the Smoky Mountains. So you see, I like being very detailed in my photography. I do sell some images to a few stock photo agencies, so I make a little bit of money with my photography, but mostly it's for personal pleasure. But I do more than just the the cell phone selfies and that sort of thing. So anyway, that I think that pretty much finishes up this video. As always, if you got any comments, questions, any of that kind of stuff, if you want to see more photography-based videos, let me know down in the comments below. I'll try to get to those comments as soon as I can. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, and I hope to see you all on my next video. Thanks a lot.